When I was 6 years old, my brother and I got sold for drugs.
At the age of 14, they put me out on the streets day and night. I would bring the money home to them. I was out on those streets alone. I had no one. I was getting raped. I was getting stolen from.
I started heroin when I was 16 and began prostituting and had to escape from my pimp.
We sell and buy human beings in this country every day. People would like to think that it doesn't happen, but that's what it is. We're buying and selling flesh every day, from a 35-year-old female or male to a 10-year-old kid.
I thought everything was going to be cool. He seemed real nice, and he just started telling me when I could eat, when I could go to sleep, pretty much just controlling my whole entire life. And he would beat me, like, not with his hands, but mostly with, like, belts.
I came in out of the intensive care unit on a heroin overdose because I had been in human trafficking and I was living out of hotel to hotel. And I had a boyfriend that was pimping me out and then, like, beating me up for doing it because he was jealous.
He took me to a parking lot and he screamed in my face and told me, "You're not worth this and no one's ever gonna love you." And he hit me across the face and I remember, like, crying on the parking lot grounds. He set up the ad for me, set up the prices. I was getting calls, working like 10 hours a day.
He gave me a near fatal dose of heroin and left me in a hotel room, and someone walking by saw me laying there blue and they called the police. I ended up being air vac.
You know, most of these girls come in with dual diagnosis, which means not only do they have trauma, but they have substance abuse issues. So substance abuse was a coping skill for them. It was keeping them filtered and blocked from all that pain of that trauma. When I start out with the girls here, I don't start out with an initial intake. It's all about first rebuilding trust, because they haven't had that. Girls that have been trafficked, they have had all that stolen. People tell them things, you know, just to get them to do something, to manipulate them, to coerce them. So it takes time initially to build that trust.
Some of the pimps don't abuse them to the point to where they actually have bruises or black eyes, but they take away like this things that and punish them in ways that is just so hurtful and damaging to them mentally.
He was extremely abusive and strict and had a mistress on top of that. And they wanted me to bring in a 13-year-old from off the street, and I wasn't comfortable with that.
I ended up running away to like a hotel room for a week and eventually had to leave the city and go somewhere else. They were constantly trying to find me.
He kept me in the bathroom and I told God, like, if you just let me out so I could be alive, like, I will never go back to this and I'll change. Like, just help me get out of here.
My very first outreach that I ever went on, we went to do a rescue, and we go and pick her up because her pimp was getting rid of her. He didn't want her anymore, and so we go and we pick her up, and she's got a 5-year-old little boy with her. We brought her here and we took them into the treehouse room. He was just so excited and he starts running. He jumps on the bed and he jumps up and down and he's like, "Mommy, Mommy." He's like, "This is the best treehouse ever." And she started crying and she sat down and she's like, "Can I take a shower?" And I was like, "Of course you can." And she said, "Well, he didn't let me take a shower for 2 weeks." And that was my first reality of what the punishment that some of these girls go through. I tried to stay as strong as I could because I wanted to break right then and there and start crying, but I couldn't. I was like, stay strong, don't do it. And I was like, okay, I'm like, "We'll see you guys in the morning," and like trying to hurry out of there. And I get in the elevator and I just broke and I just started crying. And I was just like, it was just like a harsh reality for me. And I cried, and like one of the girls like, "We're going back out," and I was like, all right. I wiped my face, and I'm like, all right, I got to stay strong again. Because we're good, going back out. And we actually went out and did another rescue that same night. I'm like, this is amazing. Like, I'm never gonna stop doing this my whole life.
And it was crazy because within 2 weeks I ended up here. The SWAT team came and got me. They raided his house. They got me to come here. I was nervous, but I felt like that's what I needed to do.
I had been doing heroin for so long that like I didn't know what my life was like anymore without doing that, you know? So trying to imagine being a sober, normal person and getting out of that lifestyle was so hard, but you know, I mean, this place like saved my life. Like if it wasn't for here, like I'd probably be dead. I know I'd be dead.
I ended up being air vac'd to the hospital where I spent 10 days in the intensive care unit. Didn't know where I was at, what was going on, nothing, and I was going through severe withdrawals. I woke up and Miss Judy from the Dream Center was there by my side just praying, and they left. The next day I called them and I said, I'm ready. I'm ready to do this.
And here at the Dream Center, we have a wonderful team, and that team involves doctors who will sit down and counsel them, doctors who will take care of their medical needs. And we have a wonderful group of teachers with a passion of teaching, and pastors and chaplains that will sit there and mentor them along.
We have found that every young woman has a unique set of circumstances, a unique set of trauma that needs to be unraveled in its own time and with its own resources that really are specific to what she needs.
Well, it's multifaceted damage. I mean, because not only have they been, you know, sexually and physically abused, but emotionally and spiritually. And so those girls have been just really, you know, pressed down and oppressed. And so they have like no sense of who they are, that they even have a voice. And then they have this connection too with their pimp that is like they have this reliance on them, because that's what the whole psychological game is with these pimps, is that they're keeping those girls attached to them emotionally, physically, so through drugs and alcohol, to get them hooked in. But the most damaging part is the emotional connection. You know, to unravel that is a very slow process, but if we, you know, take the time to do it thoughtfully, prayerfully, that those pieces start kind of coming apart so that we can address those issues on all those levels. The slower I go, the faster my clients go.
We've been very fortunate to have many professionals contribute to the service model that we use to serve these young women. There is a path, there is a process, a very strategic plan for helping them go from very often the lowest point of many of their lives to in many cases the highest point that they've ever reached: graduation from college, marriage, having their first child. That really is the goal of this program. We have catered and customized a program anywhere from 9 months on the shorter end to 2 years on the higher end.
Each pillar is designed specifically for them. When they first get here, it's kind of like you're safe mode. Like, it's time for you to dream big, you get to start a new life. This is where they feel safe. I can't say safe place enough, because it is. You know, it's where they feel comfortable. It's where they're learning what normalcy is. It's where they can dream big, and they have such a strong support system behind them. They have to learn how to fill out applications online and go to job interviews, and just being like more independent and doing things for themselves, which is pretty awesome to see them do that. And then they get to get ready for graduation. That's like the biggest thing they love to do, because they get to pick out what they want to do for their graduation, and knowing that they accomplished something. And they have like a very strong team behind them that'll always be there for them.
So I was like, oh, it's just gonna be a program, 30 days, and I'll leave. You know, people really don't spend their time like with you. Like, and when I came here, everybody like surrounded me with hugs, and I was like, whoa, I was like, what the heck? I was tripping a little bit, and then they just started praying for me, and I just felt peace. I was like, whoa, is this really my room? Like, I'm just freaked out.
These girls come from hotels. Most of them lived in hotels. And when they come into something that is as amazingly beautiful as these rooms are, it's like they strive for more. It's like, oh my gosh, I want this. They don't walk into a room that's just thrown together. Like they feel like these rooms have been tailored just for them.
There have been a couple of what we call anchor points along the way for the program, just true successes that have helped this program to excel to the level that it is today. One of those is the Dream Rooms project. We first began to build these amazing dream rooms for these young women. We put a lot of psychology, a lot of therapy into building the rooms. The rooms also help to just instill in them a value of greatness, a value of you can do this, you can achieve something amazing in your life. Another anchor point that we instilled in the campus here is the medical center. This is a first of its kind sex trafficking medical center run and operated by Phoenix Children's Hospital and Dignity Health, who provide world-class treatment for these young women anytime that they need that care.
They've given me so many amazing opportunities and resources. This place is just you won't find anywhere else like this, you know. They provide everything you need. You don't have to stress here. You literally can just sit back and, be like, okay, what did I do with my life and now where do I want to be at, you know?
I've been planning every day, and I have 2 more weeks and I get to wear a cap and a gown, so I'm like, yeah. My first thing I really accomplished, and then I'm going to start nursing school. I love to help people. I want to wear those school scrubs too.
You want to fix everything all at once. I wanted my kids back. That's the one thing I wanted. And it took several months for that. And then in December of 2015, both my kids showed up for Christmas. I have a wonderful woman that's come alongside of me named Juliana, and she went out and bought all kinds of Christmas presents for my kids, provided bicycles for them, and they came over and we just had our own Christmas here at the Dream Center, and I had both of them for the first time in the same place in a long, long, long time.